I was actually shocked almost to come upon the MDP program in Winnipeg because as I was reading, it just hit all the different things that I was interested in through a perspective that really resonated with me.
When we say Indigenous development, we are not talking about developing Indigenous communities. We're talking about development by Indigenous communities. Historically, we've seen a lot of development done to communities being developed, and it has had disastrous and tragic consequences. Our program is about flipping that and saying, how can we learn from Indigenous peoples and communities about what development means and how to put that into practice?
The MDP program has given you that Indigenous perspective and looking at traditional knowledge and seeing how that impacts on my daily lives, where I come from, or what has been impacted to me by my grandparents. How can I bring that to bear in terms of development, in terms of what I think my community needs?
Central to the MDP is the interweaving of the theoretical knowledge and the practical skill-based knowledge, and the field placements are critical to that. They do these placements with significant prior learning and training. So it gives an opportunity for classroom knowledge and skill building to feed into what the student's going to bring into that placement. They have a chance to really think about where do I want to go? Where do I see myself? Is there a particular organization whose work and approach inspires me and I want to learn more about that? And a big part of that is also learning about yourself, who you are and what you hope to contribute and why. The placements put into action one of the values that we have as a program, which is reciprocity. And we see the placements as reciprocity in action. Students contribute their learning and their skills to community-defined priorities. In turn, those communities and those organizations contribute to students' learning. It gives students the chance to be inspired by the creativity and innovation Indigenous communities and organizations exhibit, and to see it for themselves and to be a part of that.
I did my placement with the Cree Nation government. There is an office in Mistissini, which is within EUHD. You might know it as James Bay territory. So it was basically to develop a framework for enacting a trade and commerce agreement.
So I did my international field placement at Whakatatanui College for Research and Development. It is located in Hopohopo, New Zealand. My project was going to look at community development and business development within Indigenous communities.
I traveled to Honolulu, Hawaii to work with an organization called We Are Oceania. And We Are Oceania is an organization who works with the migrant Micronesian community who are traveling from their home islands to Hawaii. I worked on 2 different digital storytelling projects, and this appealed to them because it draws on their own traditions of storytelling in their community while using a new relevant digital platform.
It was with People's Dialogue, and the main office is in Accra, that's the capital city of Ghana. They manage human settlement, especially people living in very poor conditions, especially women and children, people who are really, really in dire need of shelter, clothing, food.
It was with Norway House Cree Nation as well as the University of Winnipeg. So women from Norway House, which is about an 8-hour drive from Winnipeg, have to come to Winnipeg or sometimes Thompson to have their babies. And so they're looking at sort of what people's experiences were, what's the community's sort of plans going forward and how they want to address this.
It was shocking when I got home into my field placement. I thought that, okay, this is where I've lived all my life. I'm used to everything here. I know everything here. But getting into that space and getting to know and interacting with the people, it gave me a really, really different idea and perspective of even myself. And so I guess it's because of what I have learned from the program, and that allowed me to even identify, even within my own space, the kind of things that are there that we can work on.
I hadn't really considered how health issues are related to things other than the biomedical. You have to really understand health in a more holistic way, like the emotional, the spiritual, the social issues that also affect people's health and their experiences with healthcare.
It gave me an appreciation for the fact that you can't do development one way. There's lots of different ways to do development. First of all, it's so important to know the community that you're going in and try to speak the language. It's important that you are part of the community in every way possible. Eat the food, walk with them, talk to the elders, be in the community.
Engage them, let them be part of the decision making, give them space on the table for them to tell you what it is that we need, what it is that can happen. Because if they are not part of the process, it doesn't work. But if they are part of the process right from the beginning, they are always with you.
They can tell their own story. They don't need a First Nation, woman coming from Canada to go and say, this is how you do it.
It's just about really, really trying to listen to what they want, because I never wanted to bring what I wanted. I wanted them to tell me what they needed. And I think at the end of the day, I hopefully did that in a good way.
The placements are about students learning from Indigenous communities and organizations about how they're already doing innovative and creative work to address their goals of self-determination and well-being. And the students walk alongside that.
What we learned from them and what we were able to also give to them, it was really, really fulfilling.
You're not just going there for your own benefit. You're going there to as well learn. It brought me back to remember the importance of acknowledging your ancestors, but also, the land around you, the waterways. That connection is important because that's what's going to guide you in anything you do. And I think that's the purpose of why I went there, was to learn and embrace a different Indigenous culture and kind of see what they do as kind of a sharing of each other's culture.
I always wanted to go up to Northern Quebec. It was my dream, actually. And I got the most unique opportunity to do that. So did I give them anything? I'm not sure. But they gave me a really amazing, powerful experience.
We can tell our own story. We know our culture. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your story. Be proud of where you come from.
There is tremendous strength and value in Indigenous cultures and experiences, and we need to honor that, respect that, and reflect that in the kind of education we are giving students who are wanting to work in sustainable development.